we got to repaint all this stuff. It's so horrible, this one section that we didn't redo. And we're talking about doing the floor a little bit differently. This is a piece of cardboard that I had from a door that we installed on the house. I thought, you know what, I'm going to just tape this up and use this as a door to separate the storage room, because I'm sure the weather's going to be, you know, something to contend with. Just give you an idea, something we definitely have to address. Let me find a gap here. Yeah, you can see right there. See that hole you can see into the room? Watch this. Watch the candle. We'll move real slow. Get an idea how much cold air is coming in that little tiny hole.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
We want to thank RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding for sponsoring this video.
Take my word for it. It's cold in Northeast Ohio, so we're going to look at some warmer times. Back in our fifth wheel, we first started with RV Mattress, and we bought a big mattress. We didn't talk with them. We should have. We should have asked them what we should have been looking for. But we got the biggest one, and guess what? It was too big. Little too heavy, and not only that, but it was too tall. The good news is, which makes the deal so much better, they have a 120-night sleep trial. So it was just a matter of us making a call and let them know, hey, we made the wrong choice. And they said, we'll go ahead and take care of it. We're going to get you what you need. And in this case, I think it was called back then a Dream Foam Hybrid, but they've changed the name since then. And the one that we have in our home, we love. It's called the Signature Hybrid. It's awesome. Now, you got to call them and tell them what you're trying to do with yours to get an idea of what you actually need. They have a 10-year warranty on the mattress. Once they dial you into exactly what you need, 10 years, so you don't have to worry about this thing wearing out or smashing down or anything. They'll take care of it. Not only that, but shipping is relatively quick because all this is, out of Arizona. They are, all set up out of Arizona, and it's nice that you're dealing with the factory because then they can build it the way you want. With this, I want you to be concerned with one thing above and beyond how nice this is, and that's pricing, and we're going to help you with that. If you use the link in the description, you have to use the link in the description, you'll get 25% off. This is a promotion they've been doing with us, and you've got to use the code DAYDREAM to get that. This just in, President's Day, 30% off, but you have to act now. Use the code DAYDREAM in the link below, and you will get the biggest discount available. Out of all the bikes that we've done reviews on, there's only been a few that I've wow, we need to keep hold of this. We like this one. For the most part, some of the bikes are really nice, but I think to have would just not fit our bill 100%. The sad part is we decided that when we were doing all these reviews on this bike, that we would try to find something that we would definitely use and utilize while we're RVing. We don't have a definite RV in sight that we want to direct ourselves towards. So it's kind of hard for us to make decisions and keep inventory and keep on doing reviews on maybe or maybe not having a bike that would work for us. So that's what's going on behind us, because, for example, if I got a toy hauler, I know which bike I'd probably grab is one of these cargo carrying bikes, because we use that to do a lot of shopping and stuff. But even if I have a cargo hauler or a toy hauler, that's what I meant to say, a toy hauler, I still don't know if that's something that I would want to carry around with me, because maybe we're going to be RVing away from, bike lanes and bike trails and not being, in a cityscape so much. Maybe it's going to be more terrain oriented. That means I need something with a little bit bigger tires. So that gets me into, another one of the bikes that might have more suspension to it. And how far are we going to be traveling regularly? Because then that means I might move into something with 2 batteries. In the meantime, we have all these bikes and we don't really have an outlet. We've been doing Facebook Marketplace, but it's winter and we are in Ohio, and I don't know a lot of people will be shopping for a bike quite yet. Now, as soon as spring comes around, for sure, it'll start popping off again. But even with that said, just 5 days ago, 6 days ago, we had sold that trike, which was kind of a favorite. I'll be honest, I really like that trike. That was kind of cool that it had that kind of get up and go with a 500 watt motor, and it was something that you could definitely do some grocery shopping with, and it wasn't terribly big, and it did fold. So anyway, just wanted to touch base and tell you it's cold. It's really cold. Good news is, I think, and bad news, in just a few days, maybe next week, we're going to be in the 40s almost every day, and there's going to be some rain. That means all this ice and snow is going to start thawing, and we're going to have rain. That's going to be flooding issues. So, yeah, that's it. That's a thing. Little did I know. So we're getting ready to listen to this guy, a younger version of me, and this is something that I didn't think we experienced at this house, and kind of had flashbacks to this younger version of me and something that we experienced in our old house. So let me show you what happened years ago, back when we had our old house, and then guess what happened? Yeah, we'll show you that too. So my daughter said, "Oh, I guess I'm not going downstairs." And I said, "Why is that?" And she goes, "Because there's water down there." Well, we always get a little water in the basement, so we run a fan down here to keep it, well, relatively dry in certain spots. But the sump pump quit working. So you can see everything's floating. Everything is way up. Look how shiny our floor is. Not. But there's the fan that we normally run to keep that area dry. But the sump pump quit working. It just it's jammed or something. So I'm gonna have to pull that up out of there and see why it's jammed and what's going on. So I'm going to show you the picture of our brand new washer and dryer that we bought when we first moved in this place. And I think it were like $4,000. But why I'm showing you this picture is, just 2 days prior to this next segment that I'm getting ready to show you, for whatever reason, it was really nothing made me do it other than just the urge to finally install the pedestals under this washer and dryer. We've had the pedestals for well over 3 months, closer to probably 5 months, and they've just been sitting down there in their boxes. And you'll actually see the boxes that they came in floating. I got hold of my son, talked Heidi into going downstairs, and all of us getting these washers and dryers up on the pedestals finally after all this time. And of course, we had a problem. And again, pay attention to the big boxes that are floating on the water. That's these pedestals. Man, did we dodge a bullet there. Well, this is kind of unexpected. We have all these floor drains, and for whatever reason, they're backing up into our house. Good news is the water just kind of feels dirty. But the bad news is I have water sensors down here and they didn't even go off. Or if they did, I didn't get an alert. But, man, there's so much crap down here. And this whole place has water just standing. So now we got to call the city and ask them. So here's the aftermath of what it's like to have the city sewer. I'll say sewer loosely. It's not like this is effluent. I mean, I've been around leach lines that have failed and stuff like that, and this is just all, I don't even, it's gray water, I guess, and it's not even bad gray water. You can see this is the worst of it here, and there's a little bit of stuff there. These bigger pieces actually came from this bucket that was for the paint sprayer. I personally, I don't know. Maybe this stuff all needs to decontaminated. I'm not sure, but we have the dehumidifier running in here, I think. Yep. Okay. I wanted to make sure I kept it running. We have the dehumidifier running in here because whenever they started pumping out on the street, it started coming up in here even more. You can see it got all the way down there to that one piece of furniture leg, and of course the legs on this too. We'll get that dried out, and then here I got rid of the cardboard. I've got a fan running. Do I have it back here? Yeah, I've got a fan running there. You can see how good of a job it's doing. It's getting it done. And then I have this fan here, and it's doing a pretty good job. I got all the carpets and rugs and stuff, and I put them in the sinks. And then I have another fan over here blowing towards the washer and dryer, and it's doing a pretty good job too. More importantly, I've got the furnace kicked on pretty high, and I've got this vent open here. This thing doesn't smell anymore. It's a shame. It used to smell. It used to smell real nice. Take that out though. Boop. Have Heidi get another one. So yeah, I was talking to a neighbor because there's a whole bunch of houses on this street that are flooded. And they were saying, well, there's two neighbors actually I was talking with. It's funny because the one guy just showed up, and the neighbor I was talking to said, he yelled at her, "Hey, is yours backed up?" And she goes, "Yeah." And he said, "Yeah, I've got it up to about my shins." And she said, "Yeah, so do I." And he said, "Well, I got to go get some rubber boots so I can get in the basement. I got to hook up the sump pumps." And then he threw a sump pump hose out the basement window, one of these little windows here. And, he'd come back and pumped out stuff. And she had said that she has a sump pump that she has hooked up all the time. And they basically said the same story as what happened here. It said it's just hit or miss. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. And in this case, it did quite a bit. All right, so it's been a few hours. Let's see how we're looking down here. Said I've got the furnace running on 80, I think I got it set at. That's doing pretty good. Yeah, it's not too bad, and it's definitely not 80 down here, and that has to do with this front room. I hate it. I might have to close this door. I just can't keep it. I can't keep this open in here. Yeah, shoot. I mean, this thing's working. I hear the compressor running. But I don't think this room's necessarily going to get warm. And I cannot heat, this porch and all of outside. So I think I'm going to have to close this door and hope this thing does its job. It's going to be all by itself. Again, this is a makeshift thing that we set up here to try to keep the cold air in there. After all that rain and flooding, I had to go to the car wash the mud off the truck. The reason is it's been sitting there for like the last 2 months, and it got stuck. I barely got out of there. So it ended up being parked in the street for a couple of days, but now I have it in the garage. I got to do some work on it. But Heidi and I have been out of commission. At the time of filming, we are at the tail end of something that we didn't expect after 3 years of being full-time on the road. We got the first time positive for the the big test there. Can you believe it? All right, guys. We'll see you later.